Good morning guys, this is Mr. Richardson and today we are going to do our healthy lifestyle assembly. So I'm going to go get it up on the screen now and then we are going to quickly go through each of the slides. There will be parts in this video where we'll ask you to stop and pause it just so you can have a look at the questions and see if you can answer it as a team. Okay, so healthy lifestyle. What do you think a healthy lifestyle is? So before we carry on, I'm going to ask you and your teacher to pause the slides and then you are going to answer the question as a group. What do you think healthy lifestyle is? Okay, there's 3 answers. Let's see if you can come up with any more on your own. Okay, just pause the video 30 seconds and let's get cracking. Right, so now we've done you've answered the question. Let's see if you can match your answers to what we've done. Okay, so what do you think healthy lifestyle is? Eating a variety of foods from different food groups. Okay, have a think about that answer because that's going to become important. Part of a healthy lifestyle is taking part in physical activities, which is very important, especially if you do PE with myself or any of the other PE specialists. And keeping active and healthy to support positive mental health. That is also a very key aspect of living a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so see if you've got any of the answers that come up on the screen. So to start with, I'm going to look at healthy food choices. So healthy food choices are the healthy plate, eating well, all about 5 a day, shall we see. So half of your plate, so every meal you have, half of your plate needs to be fruits or veg. Okay, so that's all of the healthy plate. Look at the half and fruit and veg section, half of your plate should be that. A quarter of your plate is to be carbohydrates. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what carbohydrates are because it's a bit of a challenge at the end. So have a look at the plate, what do you think carbohydrates might be? And a quarter of your plate needs to be protein. Again, I'm not going to tell you what proteins are, but if you've got a good eye, you might be able to spot it on the healthy plate. So, I want to pause the video for 30 seconds and answer this with your shoulder partner, someone sat on your table. Can you name me a food in which type of protein? If you can do that, I want to see if you can name a type of food that is a carbohydrate. Okay, so name me a type of food that's a protein. After you've done that, name me a type of food that's a carbohydrate. Alright, 30 seconds just with your shoulder partner. Off we go. Right. I hope you've all shared your answers. See if we can come up with some. Alright. If you look for the protein section, we have the red half of the quarter circle. Okay. There it is at the bottom. They are fish, poultry, nuts, dairy are ideal sources of protein. Okay, so that's the healthy plate and that's what their options are giving you. For the carbohydrates then, we've got bread, rice, potato, cereal, anything that's known as whole grain or brown or wheat or anything like that that can become under inside of that quarter section. Okay, so there are 2 sources of protein and carbohydrates, and then obviously the healthy fruit and veg section is a big half of our plate section, so there's lots of ideas that you can think in there. Okay, this is also very important, as you can see at the bottom of the corner, it says water. So avoiding sugary drinks like Coca-Cola and anything that has got too much sugar in is not good for our bodies. Okay, so water is a very good source of energy as well as looking after our bodies. Okay. So moving on, physical activity then. Again, another physical activity picture for us to look at. So make sure you're looking at that if there's any questions that you need answering. Okay. So, physical activity, a minimum of 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity. Okay, so moderate to vigorous physical activity is something that is something not too hard, all the way up to something that's really intense. Okay, so if you look at our pyramid, it says walking, playing a game, and doing yard work or gardening. That's what moderate physical activity could be. Vigorous activities is riding a bike, jogging, skipping, running, anything where we're really active, really pushing ourselves, okay, something that's going to get our heart rate up. So between them two is the common ground that we are looking for. So 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity a day. Most of you, if you do PE a day, you will already be hitting that with myself or the other PE specialists or any of the other teachers that you may have. But some of you might do outdoor activities after school, so you might do football, rugby, cricket, anything out there that you are working hard, you are hitting that 60 minutes a day. If you are not, have a think during the rest of this presentation, what could you do in order to try and hit that 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity? Okay. Second point, avoid being inactive from physical activity for a prolonged period of time. Okay, so what that means is being inactive means not doing any physical activity at all for a long period of time. So it's all right to do it for a few hours, or maybe an hour and a half, maybe an hour, but doing it for any longer than 3 or 4 hours is going to be really bad for our body. So just sitting there playing on our Xbox or PlayStation for a prolonged period of time is going to have a really bad effect on our bodies. Okay, so we need to be active. Even if we take a break from it for 30, 40 minutes and we go outside and get some fresh air, that's so much better for our bodies than just sitting and doing nothing all day. Okay, so that's what that means. Being inactive and physical activity for a long period of time, we don't want that in our lives. Even if you see the bottom of the pyramid, it's got a cross through the computer game, and I think it's got a cross through the remote, which is not good for our bodies. Right, next challenge for you then. Can you describe to me different ways of keeping physically active? If you don't know any, you haven't got a clue, have a think about what you might do in PE, have a think about what you might do outside of school if you're doing sports. And if you're really stuck, have a look at the pyramid, because there's lots of different ways that you can get physically active on there. Okay, so I'm going to give you now 30 seconds just to chat with someone on your table or your shoulder partner, depending on how you're sat. You are going to have a think and answer me that question. Okay, 30 seconds, pause the video, so you can crack on with it. Right, super. Right, I'm hoping we've all had a really good discussion now. We've all talked about what we wanted to talk about. So, lastly, I think, mental health. Really, really important, especially with the climate and things that are going on. Mental health is massive. It's definitely something that we all need to talk about. So mental health is important when talking about healthy lifestyle. Really, really important. Talking to someone about how you are feeling is okay, and listening to people talking about how they are feeling is a good thing to do. Okay, if you see someone that's struggling with their feelings, it is a really good thing to do to ask them if they are okay. It is okay not to be okay, and I think we need to understand that if someone's feeling down, you need to be the one that they can rely on to talk to. Okay, because there's not always going to be a teacher or an adult that can get to someone at all times, because there's a lot of children and there's not a lot of adults that work in a school or when you're at home that people can talk to. So if you can be that person for someone to talk to, that is also a very, very good thing and grown-up thing to do. And then finally, there are lots of people out there who are willing to listen and listen to what you've got to say. So if you are struggling and you don't feel confident to speak to your friends or speak to a teacher, there are other people that you can speak to. Okay, so there's a charity called Mind, who work with children and adults to develop better mental health. They are a fantastic charity. And they are the Samaritans. Okay, they are a well-known charity that are used to talking to people, especially children and young people with mental health problems. If you're feeling down, if you're really sad, it doesn't go away. If you talk to someone, then they are really open for people to talk to. So, the last couple of slides there. Benefits of mental health. Benefits of a healthy lifestyle, sorry. Allows us to feel better about ourselves, creating a more positive mental health. Okay, that's a very good benefit of living a physically healthy lifestyle. Makes us feel healthy and have a balanced diet, which is also very important, especially as we grow older. Allows us to socialise and have positive relationships with new people. Sport is a very good factor in gaining new relationships with new people that you wouldn't have met before, okay? Especially team sports. If you play football or rugby, you are meeting lots of people from different backgrounds. Even if they don't go to your school, they might go to other schools. It's really good for you to socialise with new people and create positive relationships with these people. Okay, right. We have got a few questions that we want to answer. So I'm going to put all the questions on screen now, and then you and your partner, somebody sat next to you, or someone on your table, you can have a minute, pause the video, so you can answer all these questions together. Okay? So I'll put them all on screen now. Have 1 minute, see if you can answer all of these questions on screen. So it's just a recap of what we've already done today. I think, guys, that is pretty much the end of our PowerPoint. So there's lots of things there that we have looked at, talked about a healthy lifestyle. All right, so it's really important that we are focusing on the key things that we have just looked at, living a healthy lifestyle. So if you take anything away from this assembly, it's being okay to not to be okay, so you can talk to anyone. Mental health is massive. Making sure that we are always active, even if we've been inactive for 3 to 4 hours, we're going outside for an half an hour, 40-minute walk, run, jog, getting outside, getting some fresh air. And finally, making sure we are eating well, eating a healthy and balanced lifestyle is very, very important. Okay? And then I've been Mr. Richardson. Thank you very much for listening to this assembly.